Hi guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and this is a bonus tutorial because I posted a photo of this texture stamp on Facebook and a few people asked me for a tutorial, so I'm going to be doing a bonus tutorial for you guys to show you how to make this stamp. So what you're going to need is an assortment of different ball tools and some leftover clay. So I've got some leftover clay over here. Any leftover clay will do. You're also going to need ball tools. You want to make sure that they've got fairly small heads, and you want to sort it out from the biggest head to the smallest head. So sort it out. Let's see. Goes that one, then that one, then that one. So there we are. We've got our assorted sizes now. So I'll put that off to the side, and you want to keep them in that assortment. Okay, then we'll bring this over. Now any leftover clay will work. And I'm going to bring over the smallest head. So this one's got a nice small head. And what you want to do is, I'm just going to get into the right position here because I want it to be nice and comfortable for me. So you want to draw out a line, just like that. And then you go back and make it a little bit deeper. Don't dig at your clay, just let your tool slide over the surface. Okay, and then I'm going to go to a slightly larger head, which is on the same tool, which will smooth this out a little bit. And I want to make it quite deep. And there we are, that's your first line. And just make sure to get rid of all of the little bits and pieces that are floating around. Now what you want to do is you want to start with your small head, press in, start with the next head up, press in, next head up, press in, next head, press, next, press. Then you go back down and make sure to go in the same direction as your line so that your bubbles are curved. This was inspired by the ocean. It was, kelp strands and bubbles, and it's really supposed to emulate the ocean. And so I'm basically just going up and down through the sizes to create that kind of bubble effect. And you can have different combinations for your bubbles, so it doesn't have to be from small to large. I'll show you another combination in a second as soon as I'm done here. You can see that it doesn't take too long. It's not fast, but it doesn't take too long. Then I'm going to bring over my smallest tip again, and I'm gently going to trace out my next strand. And then I'm going to go over to my bigger tip and I'm going to deepen that with that tip. And I'll go back again and deepen it. And you really want these to look nice and curvy and smooth. And you must make sure that they're deep enough as well. There we are. Just go over and scoop out any problems. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first two, and we're only going to use the three. I'm going to start with the smallest one, I'm going to press, then I'm going to leave a bit of a gap, press in with the next one, leave a bit of a gap, press in with the next one, then go down a size, press in while leaving a gap, and so on, up the sheet of clay. And I'll show you what we're going to do to fill in those gaps. Then we're going to go over to my smallest head, and I'm going to make little holes. And make sure that you press deep enough. Don't go too far that you go straight through the sheet, but make sure that you're going far enough because this is a texture sheet. And then trace out your next line. show you one more combination. And then we're hollowing it out. And this is a very organic texture. Don't want it to be too formal or anything like that. Just make sure to keep it nice and tidy. Okay, then the next one, we're going to start with the smallest one again, and then go up through the sizes. Then we're going to stop on the largest one and go back down to the smallest, which is a little different from our last one. So that's another combination that you could use. And there's a bunch of different combinations. I mean, go wild with it. Don't constrict yourself to just the ones that I'm showing you. These are just the ones that I prefer. But there are a bunch of different ones. I mean, get creative with it and see what you can do. So almost done with that. And that will be the last little bit that I show. And I'll show you how to get those kind of streak effects. Okay, now I just want to do this line over here. There we are. Skip to the bigger one. You can see that my clay cracked a little bit there, so I'm just going to tap it back into place and smooth it. Polymer clay is very forgiving if you make a mistake. You can just kind of smooth out the mistake and carry on. And there we are. Now when you pick, let's say we'd filled in the entire sheet, you're going to pick it up and you're going to give it a little stretch. And this will widen out those dots so that they, because throughout the process they might have got a little bit clogged. Okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring over some rough sandpaper. And I have multiple choices with this. One, you could go and you could do this kind of sandpapery texture, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like it with this one. And then another, you could kind of draw these streaks across, which is what I liked to, which is what I did. Problem is it clogs up your sandpaper very quickly. But that's what I did to get those nice streaked looks. And then just go back with your smallest ball tool and just tidy up those areas where you were doing it with the sandpaper, because the sandpaper is going to bring off little particles of clay. So you just need to make sure to go back and tidy them up. And then let's say you did that for your entire sheet of clay. What you would do then is you would take it over to your oven. Once you cut it out, I have a nice large square cutter which I cut my texture stamps out of. So you'd cut out your texture stamp, pull on it, make sure that it's all nice and tidy, bring it over to your oven, sorry, having a blank there, and you want to bake it for a full hour at whatever brand you're using's recommended temperature. Make sure to bake it for a full hour, no less, because this is going to be going under extreme wear and tear, so you don't want it to have any weakness in it. So that's how you would make it. So I'm not going to make another one because I've already made one. Just skip this up. And so that is how you would make this one. So you can see that we've got those nice scratches on there. So I'm going to bring over a spray bottle of water and give your texture stamp a good douse of water. Pop your pearl white Primo over the top. Press it into the stamp and make sure you press it in good and proper, because you want to be picking up all of that texture. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to pick that up gently and I'm going to smash it against the tile to make sure that I really get a texture out of it. And if you're wondering what that weird grating sort of noise in the background is, there are cicadas around. So that's what that noise is. Okay, there we are. I'm not going to worry about drying it. I'm just going to trim up the areas that don't make up the texture. So it's a really nice under the sea sort of look. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray the surface with 99% alcohol. There we are. And that will help the alcohol ink spread. So I'm going to be using Mermaid first. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it and blow. Actually, I'm going to get a straw to do that. Okay, so I can't find the straw. That doesn't matter. In the meantime, this is split a little bit, which is what I want. So you can see that it's going into the nice greenish bluish colours. Now I'm going to bring over my sailboat blue. I'm gently going to dab that into areas. So that's turquoise actually. And I'm going to be using patina. Gently dab that down. And now I'm not using massive drops of this stuff, I'm just using a little bit. I'll bring over my sailboat blue. And this is all Adirondack inks. Okay, now I want to bring over a brush, and this will help me spread out this alcohol ink. You can see most of it is still wet because we sprayed that 99% alcohol over the top. And what the 99% alcohol does as well to a certain degree is it causes the colours to split just a tad. So you get even more variation in colour in here. And I'm just going and gently smoothing over the areas that aren't covered in alcohol ink, because I don't want any white spots. And because it's still very wet, it's kind of blending into each other and creating a really nice effect. Just spend a little bit of time making sure that all of these spots are covered. I think I want some green over here, so you can go into some puddles that might be sitting around and use that to colour some other areas that you might not be happy with. Yeah. Just go check around to make sure that I've got everywhere. There we go. Now I'm quite happy with that. Let me just brighten this up quickly for you guys so that you can see a little bit better. There we go. Don't want to make it too bright. I've done that before and it looks terrible. Okay, so I'm just fussing with it a little bit to make sure that I'm happy with how it looks. Okay. And let me just bring over my tissue blade. Ooh, missed a spot there. Yeah, bring over my tissue blade and pick this up. And I'm going to bring over a wet wipe quickly and just wipe up this mess. There we go. So that looks quite nice at the moment. Needs to dry first. Well, actually no, we don't want it to dry just yet, because I want to put in some little drops of alcohol to get that blooming effect. So I'm just gonna add in little drops of alcohol ink and see if we can get it to bloom. Might need to dry just a tad more before it works. Yeah, I think it needs to dry a little bit more. So I'll probably let this dry for about 5-10 minutes, maybe less. I'll tell you how long it's been when I come back, but it needs to dry just a tad more before we can start playing with it. So I'll just tidy up these edges and maybe mess around with blending it a little bit more while I wait for it to dry. Okay, so I've left it about 3 minutes, and so now we're going to spray that 90% alcohol. Oops. Bring over a really small brush. Just dip it in there. I'm going to use it just to come in here and create little blooms. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick that up. I'll just put in a little bit of blooms here and maybe actually rub the area to get some of the alcohol ink to come off, so you get this cool weird blend or faded spot. That will look quite cool. So I do that over the entire sheet until I was happy with it. Yeah, the going with it and then rubbing it just gently creates a really nice effect. Okay, so I'm almost happy with it. I don't want to put in too many of these, because it's quite nice as it is. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We'll quickly wipe that up, and now bring over some silver mica powder. Okay, so I'll bring over that silver mica powder, and here it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab my finger in there and get a little bit on. There we go. I want very little on my finger because otherwise it goes all over the place. I'll gently run my finger over the surface of this sheet. So I'm just gonna want it on the pad of my finger. Just want to give it a light silver highlight. So I'd take a little while to do this because I only want to use a little bit of mica powder at a time, otherwise I can mess it up. It's starting to look really nice. I'm quite happy with it. There we go. And so I'll show you what it looks like once I've got it all highlighted. Okay, so there we are, now that I've finished highlighting it. And I just want to gently pick that up off the tile. We need to clean up the tile, like that. And I'll bring this up for you to see, and I'll just brighten that up a little bit. There we go. So hopefully you can see now how nice that is. It's highlighted so that you can see a texture, and it's also got a lot of shading in it. And hopefully you can see all of the little scratches in the background. So it's really nice. So the texture does a really great job. So that's basically it for this tutorial. I do hope that it was helpful to you, and if it was, please do let me know, as that is always helpful to me. And if you liked it, please share photos of what you make using it. I always enjoy seeing photos. You can send it to my Facebook page or to my website. I have a place where you can send in photos on the website, so please do check that out. And as always, I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.